Officially on the board to our right, the south end of Razorback Stadium, 6 seconds to go. So there it is. Jubilant Longhorns from Austin, Texas. And the eyes of Texas will undoubtedly be heard very, very soon on the far side of the field. It is a song written in 1903 by John Lang Sinclair. Let's listen. Frank Broyles, and it's a sad afternoon for Frank, the father of 6. And there are some of his children with him going to the locker room, but we'll see Arkansas meeting Mississippi and Archie Manning in the Sugar Bowl. While Texas, the #1 team, I would assume is well on its way to remaining #1, winning the national championship and perhaps the MacArthur Bowl, which will be presented in New York Tuesday night. The National Football Hall of Fame dinner, where our colleague Bud Wilkinson will be inducted into the Coaching Hall of Fame, and President Nixon will receive the coveted gold medal.
As you can see, it is absolute madness. Longhorns have come on in, raising their hands, #1, hook and horns. Darrell Royal still has to make his appearance. Here he comes.
Bill, that's a happy group down there, isn't it?
It's absolutely wild, as you can imagine, Bud and Chris.
Well, Darrell Royal, Bill, with his 107th victory. I know he's had a lot of important ones in the past, but I bet he'll say this is it.
I think the best thing to do here is just stand by and soak it up.
And on the other hand, as Randy Peschel is being hugged by the winning coach, it is Frank Broyles on the right. And he is in with his players in the locker room off here at the south end of the stadium.
Now Darrell's going to say a few words. Just a second.
It's a very, very disappointing afternoon for a man who came in here with 15 consecutive victories, but he lost by only 1, but that's all it takes.
Now, Coach is leading the team in the Lord's Prayer.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen.
And tears of joy streaming down the cheeks of the Texas Longhorns, who have won the big one the hard way. Darrell, let's just get a word with you here. It's one of the greatest victories in all of Texas history.
Well, I didn't know if we just kept turning the ball over. I just don't know what to say.
I know in just a few minutes, Darrell, President Nixon will be here to congratulate you and your boys. I'm sure during that time you'll have a chance just to think and reflect about what this really means to you.
Well, I already know.
Right. Darrell Royal, the head football coach at the University of Texas, absolutely flabbergasted at this victory. As you know, the Longhorns had to come from behind. They trailed at one point 14-0, and then made the big gamble in going for 2 after making the touchdown and then winning it 15-14. We understand the president is making his way down toward the dressing room. So, Chris and Bob, if you have anything you want to add to this as a postscript, feel free to do so.
Well, Bill, as we had mentioned earlier, and you just brought up that two-point conversion play following a Jimmy Street touchdown, which was sensational in itself, 42 yards. That had to be one of the most courageous calls I think I've ever seen in all over 400 games that we've had the pleasure of televising. And with this, the centennial year, I'll just have to say that when you do college football, the goosebumps come often. And today was just another one of those examples. And for Darrell Royal, I know that he had a little bit of superstition. I know him very well. This was his 13th year as head coach, Bill, at Texas. And just like all of us, I guess occasionally get superstitious, and I'm sure when he was down 14-0, he could see a national championship fleeting.
Here comes the president, Chris. This is a moment, of course, that these young men have been waiting for. The President of the United States has come into their dressing room, and now they have quieted down considerably, as you can hear, and are greeting him singly as he makes his way toward Darrell Royal and congratulates him. Darrell, taking the sincere good wishes from the President, and they will be making their way up here to the platform for a more formal presentation. Every one of the boys anxious to shake the hand of the President. And he, in turn, very anxious to shake theirs. Now he's coming up. Mr. President?
Oh, hi.
How you doing, sir? Can we get Darrell up here? I know you have a presentation to make. James Street is here. Coy. Darrell? Coach?
Coach up here.
Here he comes.
Still got a job.
You chose yourself a football game to attend, didn't you?
There we go. Well, one of the great games of all time, without question. And I was up in the booth, the ABC booth, at halftime, and incidentally, I got to brag a little. They asked me what was going to happen the second half. Said both teams were going to score, but that I thought that what would really determine the second half would be whether Texas had the ability in the fourth quarter to come true. And you did.
Mr. President, we're mighty
How do you feel?
I've got to be the happiest guy in America tonight.
Well, I just want to say this in presenting the plaque. Presenting this plaque, I want to say first that the AP and the UPI will name Texas #1, as we know, after this game. And this is a great honor in the 100th year of football. I also want to say that having seen this game, what convinced me that Texas deserves that is the fact that you won a tough one. For a team to be behind 14-0 and then not to lose its cool and to go on to win, that proves you deserve to be #1, and that's what you are.
Well, Mr. President, it's a great thrill. It's a great thrill for us to win the football game, but the big thrill, I know I speak for all of our squad, is for the President of the United States to take time to endorse college football and to honor you with your presence in our locker room. This is a big moment in all of our lives, and I'm speaking for the coaching staff and all the players.
I want all of you to know that we didn't make up the plaque in advance. It doesn't say what team, and I'm taking it back to Washington and put in Texas. If I could add one thing, Darrell, while we're talking here. I do want to say that Penn State, of course, felt that I was a little premature in suggesting this. So we're going to present a plaque to Penn State as the team in the 100th year with the longest undefeated untied. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
And so a move unprecedented in college football as the President of the United States has appeared in the dressing room of the nation's #1 team on this final day of this centennial year of college football, 1969. Now let's go back to our ABC telecast booth and Chris Schenkel.